Hey everybody, welcome to jillyjuice.com. This is Jillian Epperly, creator of Jilly Juice. And today I'm going to go over pain is healing. Okay? Pain is healing. There is a business going on with the allopathic and the holistic industry that wants you to hide the pain and disappear the pain, but only temporarily. And they call that cures. C-U-R-E-S. Because what is a cure? Cure is temporary. And that is only for the allopathic and the holistic market. Actually, only for the allopathic market. Because the holistic market cannot even say that their drugs they have, as far as the herbs and all the supplements, are FDA approved. Only the allopathic market can say this is a cure for your eczema, psoriasis, all that stuff, right? It is strictly for the allopathic market. So there is a business of upsetting homeostasis, and that is the prescription drugs, the herbs, the pills, the powders, the supplements, the ointments, and all the detoxes. And those detoxes can also comprise of colloidal silver, turpentine, bentonite clay, baking soda, diet, which is earth, you name it, apple cider vinegar, kombucha, all of those are about upsetting homeostasis. But it is a negative element because it is in reaction to cancer, disease, and chronic illness. But you'll never see in these holistic supplements that it's FDA approved. No, they call it immune support, liver support, reproductive system support. Never at all says that this is what it's going to do for you. It's called support to whatever system it wants to target. So with that said, you're seeing all these new drugs on the market, right? You're seeing all the new detoxes like the CBD oils. And that's why I've been so hammering the CBD oil market, because that's the newest thing on the market. The reason why is because it upsets your homeostasis. It completely upsets your homeostasis for just a minute, because the body is going to adapt. What happens when your pills, powder, supplements, and drugs and all that stuff wears off? Oh, what? You're in pain, right? Because pain is healing. Pain is the body trying to heal itself by taking the different nutritions the nutritional components that are in your body and trying to repair, but it's not doing very good because you're continuously in pain because you're not giving your body what it needs. So when you're in constant pain, it means the body is trying to heal. And so when you're taking these negative elements, okay, and you're trying to stop the body from healing, which is stopping the pain, you're basically putting yourself way behind the 8 ball. That's why you see aging, because aging is cell degradation. Okay, so then you have to go get a new drug, right? Go find a new detox. Because the body adapts. The body will adapt. And then that's why you see pain return. Pain management is the body so trying to survive, so trying to repair itself with a little bit of nutrients that is left in your body from your meager diet that you're trying to do, like all this organic stuff. So, and the vaccines work the same way too. Vaccines do nothing but basically poison your system with that pathogen to create antibodies. But guess what? Every single vaccine, herb, pill, powder, supplement, extract, whatever, every time you take those negative elements, that impacts your innate immune system, which is the original design, the blueprint of your body. So your body takes a hit and now you're mutated, right? And then you're taking all of these different, so then you're in pain, right? You have these symptoms, you're in pain, your body is trying to now fix itself. And then guess what? You find another another pain management tool, another detox. Hold on a second. You will find another herb, another detox, another pill, another powder, another supplement until the body gets used to it. Because when you upset homeostasis, you're going to disappear the pain for a minute. You're basically stagnating your immune system. When you take a vaccine, you're going to have upset of homeostasis. If your body's already been exposed to those pathogens in the vaccine, you're not going to have any kind of reaction because you already have antibodies built up against it. But guess what? Your body's still going to take it and get mutated, especially with all the other stuff that's in the vaccines. And then guess what? So then your body takes a hit, gets mutated, and then the pain returns, right? Because the body is trying to then repair itself. But then guess what you do? You're like, okay, well, I guess this drug isn't working. And that's why you have people that don't get that relief from specific drugs, because they've already been exposed to that drug. Just like when someone takes a vaccine, they don't get that reaction. Then they're like, well, okay, because they've already been exposed to it. So if you don't get a reaction from the drug, a good reaction from the drug, right, where the pain disappears, or if you don't get a reaction like a symptom from that vaccine, it doesn't mean that like, oh, wow, you know, what they're saying is not true. No, it just means that you've already been exposed. Your body already adapted to that. And then you need another vaccine for something else to then make you sick, to be exposed to another conglomeration of stuff. Or you need another pill, powder, and supplement to upset your homeostasis to then deaden your pain because your body is trying to heal. So I'm going on to the Cleveland 19 and I'm like, and they're like, oh, you know, they're saying that the CBD oil is on the market in Ohio, but it's illegal to have it. It would be a felony to actually have it in your possession. And I'm like, good. People need to face the pain. And they're like, oh my God, that's inhumane. No, what's inhumane is people are killing themselves because they keep going from one herb, pill, powder, supplement, and vaccine to another one until their body is basically over a cliff. So that's what the whole thing with pain is. Pain is healing. And that's what the allopathic market and the holistic market have failed to understand what pain it actually represents. Because they don't want to teach for whatever, and maybe they, see, I'm trying to figure out if it's intentional or not. But then, you know, you have customers that don't want to feel pain, and they're so used to anesthetizing themselves with pills, powder, supplements, you know, painkillers, and cannabis, that you make them face the pain, they'll basically leave you and they'll sue you. So I'm thinking that, you know what, it's like a cycle, a vicious cycle between the customer and the industry. The customer keeps the industry in check by saying, we want to have a pain pill that kills my pain so I can still keep functioning, instant gratification, so I can still keep functioning in my day-to-day life and ignore what my body is actually telling me until finally the body gives out. And then that's why you see people deteriorating very fast as well as very slow, and they're progressively getting worse because they keep managing their pain with all of the painkillers, all of the body killers, the healing killers. And that is what contributes to death in our society. Those are negative elements. So, you know, we're turning everybody into drug addicts in our society, and we keep having them chase the dragon, chasing that initial high. What's that initial high? Oh, free from pain for a minute, or a feeling of euphoria, until that strain or that conglomeration, that specific conglomeration, basically wears off. Your body builds a tolerance, or it adapts to it, and then the pain returns. And guess what? The body's trying to heal again. Do you realize life is so stubborn? Just like when you see a plant try to grow through the concrete. that plant is struggling for life. It's finding that sunlight in the cracks of the concrete, and it's growing. Despite everything that's working against it, it is going to start, it's going to keep growing. And then eventually those roots are going to push apart that cement until that cement cracks, and then life then takes over. Because cement is death, that represents the allopathic and the holistic industry, is the cement on the sidewalk. And the cracks in the sidewalk are basically life trying to live. And that is what pain is. Pain is the cracks in the sidewalk with the plants coming through. And this is why our society is where it is. We anesthetize our pain with all the pills, powder supplements, alcohol, and cannabis. So yeah, I mean, this is huge. I mean, I tell you what, I couldn't even fathom thinking that this actually was the case, that pain was healing way a couple years ago. But then I always knew intuitively not to fall into the alcohol and the drugs on a continuous daily basis. I made myself deal with the frustrations of life, the frustrations of my own illness, the frustrations of whatever past relationships I dealt with. I made myself deal with it. I forced myself to. And it could be from the fact that when I was in Vietnam, I was forced to try to deal with trying to live. I mean, when I was in Vietnam and I'm in this orphanage, and I don't remember this, but this was told to me, you know, movement is what gives life. So what I used to do when I was a kid, my parents used to tell me this, which I remember doing, is I used to stem back and forth in my bed. Stemming is keeping the body moving when you're not getting picked up or getting interacted with in a huge orphanage full of babies and cribs. So what did I do when I was a kid? I was stemming back and forth. That was me, desperate to live despite of my conditions. So that's exactly probably why I have this mentality, why I have such a drive to figure out stuff. The drive to live, the drive to figure out the problem so I can keep moving forward. So I think that my experience in Vietnam created this monster of who I am. Not really a monster, but created this mentality of who I am. Thank God for the Vietnam War, right? Or we wouldn't have this opportunity to explore what pain actually means. Because let me tell you, I was in a lot of pain as a baby, and then being exposed to the vaccines in our society, as well as all the different prescription drugs, as well as all of the, you know, the social norms that I wasn't fitting into. I mean, my God, I was trying to fit into, you know, the world in Saratoga, California. And that's so competitive over there. And I'm like a completely different person from a completely different background, probably heavily parasitic, while, you know, my sisters and then my, you know, my classmates all relatively came from a very, you know, benign background. No major trauma in their life. They didn't have to survive. Their parents were, you know, they bore a kid in you know, in a hospital or wherever. But no, I went through some freaking hell. So I was probably the major odd man out, and I've always been that way. So this makes sense of why now I've been focusing on the pain is healing, and then making those connections around bone regrowth, bone spurs, them cutting off bone spurs because it didn't fit into the model of prosthesis. And then people taking antibiotics because they don't want to feel the pain. Well, that pain is the bone growth. That pain is a body trying to heal itself. And then where salt comes into play, where the lacto fermentation, all that stuff, right? And I'm not putting this on the website. I'm going to put this on YouTube. But this is so key for those that are still dabbling in the negative elements world. People are still doing the turpentine, the colloidal silver. Those are negative elements that are going to destroy your immune system. The CBD oil, whether it's sublingual or topically, just like the eczema and psoriasis. You know, when you have eczema and psoriasis and you're putting a negative element onto your body, guess what you're doing? You're taking those negative elements and you're poisoning your body and driving that infection that's trying to come to surface because your skin is a filtration process trying to release it. And then you're driving those infections and pathogens back into your body to then mutate other systems in your body. And how I knew this is because I had some great people who kind of clued me in, and I had my own healing when I had a rash in my lower region that came to surface during my healing process. And I remember putting hydrocortisone, which is a negative element, on that rash when I was a kid, and now I'm seeing it actually finally heal for the first time. So anytime you take a negative element in your gut, sublingually, or topically, you're driving that infection and you're destroying your immune system, and you're destroying your immune system and you're driving the infection back in your body. So anytime you do with negative elements, you're undermining all the positive that you're doing if you're doing my protocol. So when you're doing this protocol, pain is freaking healing. Yes, some of you are going to be in so much pain, you're going to need to use some really strong antibiotics to kind of get you through, and I get it. You got to take your opioids and all of that, do it.